Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to get started in just a minute or two, just to give a bit more time to people who are joining us tonight. Thanks again, everyone who's joined us. We'll get started, and hopefully a few more people will be able to join us shortly and trickle in, but I'll get going with the introductory information. So thank you all for coming to tonight's webinar on Southgate Town Centre and the Masterplan Vision project that we're delivering at the moment. My name is Liz Rhodes. I'm the Communications and Engagement Lead for the Journeys and Places program. I'm joined by some colleagues tonight who I'm going to ask to introduce themselves. So starting with the project manager, Andrea.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Bugli. I'm a place shaping delivery manager in the Journeys and Places team, and I've been working in Southgate project for the last couple of years.
Thank you. Khalif.
Hi everyone, I'm Khalif, place shaping officer, also working in Southgate in the Journeys and Places team. I've been working in Southgate for just over 7 months now, but yeah.
Thank you. And Josh.
Hi, my name is Josh Mullins. I work for the Architecture Practice East, who have been commissioned to work on developing the Southgate Masterplan Vision by the council.
Great, thanks, Josh. So we'll go to our agenda for this evening. Okay, so welcome and housekeeping. We'll get into a few housekeeping points in a moment, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the Journeys and Places program and give you an introduction and overview of what we do and what we're about at the council. I'm then going to hand to Andrea, who's going to talk about the Southgate Masterplan Vision and what we're hoping to achieve for the town centre. I'll speak a little bit about communications and engagement and the current engagement opportunity that we've got open at the moment. Then I'll hand back to Andrea for the next steps for the project. And there'll be time at the end for you to ask questions, or you can ask them throughout using the Q&A function at the top on the toolbar throughout, but we'll be taking those questions and answering them at the end. So here's some housekeeping points. As I've just mentioned, in your top toolbar, there's a question and answer function. So please use that to submit your questions. It's really helpful for us if you submit them one by one, and we'll be going through them and answering them towards the end. We'll also be reviewing the questions that come through tonight to update the frequently asked questions that sit on the project page on the Let's Talk Enfield website after tonight's webinar. If you do have any comments, you can put them in the Q&A function, but we'll just be noting those and considering them as part of the engagement opportunity, but do encourage you to get involved in the survey or at an event, which we'll talk about later. We are recording this webinar, so we'll be uploading a recording of this later this week to the project page if you or anyone else wants to view it at a later date. And as mentioned, the link there, as well as the QR code to scan, will take you to the project page that sits on the Let's Talk Enfield website and hosts a range of information on the project, but also hosts the engagement survey that we'd love for you to fill out by the 15th of December. Okay, so I'm going to talk a bit about the Journeys and Places program. We're a program run by Enfield Council, and we're about connecting communities to create a more vibrant, greener and healthier Enfield. Next slide, please. So there's a number of reasons, I suppose, as to why we exist and what we're about. So first of all, we're in a climate emergency. The council declared a climate emergency a few years ago, and through a range of different initiatives, including the Journeys and Places program, we're looking to reduce carbon emissions, make places healthier, greener, and cleaner for everybody who is living, working, studying or visiting Enfield. We believe places, the public realm, streets and roads should be safe for everyone. So safety is a really big factor in our program. And in terms of how we go about this, we empower communities to build cohesion and a sense of belonging in their neighbourhoods across the borough. So really trying to work alongside and in partnership with local communities to ensure that they've got ownership of their local places and what happens in their neighbourhoods. We also celebrate and amplify Enfield's cultural identity. This may be through initiatives such as public artworks or even in the design of new places. And we're working towards working to link new and existing neighbourhoods, so from town centres to high streets, offering an attractive range of activities that supports both the day and the nighttime economy. In terms of some of the key areas of work for the Journeys and Places program, one of those is about enhancing town centres and the public realm. So our work in Southgate really heavily falls into this area, I suppose, and we're working across all 5 major town centres in the borough, as well as other areas identified as areas of opportunity and growth, and looking at ways that we can work with the community to improve them, enhance them, again, make them greener, safer, places where people can go and enjoy them. Talked a little bit about this as well, so empowering local communities to shape their local places. So community engagement is a really big component and an important part of our work, and something that we look to do throughout all of our projects and how we deliver those. We also are working to deliver a walking and cycling network, so really connecting up the borough, if that is from town centres and high streets, but into neighbourhoods or through neighbourhoods and local places, trying to connect people with a safe and accessible walking and cycling network. And we also work to make our neighbourhood safer for all road users to walk, wheel and cycle. So we do have a behaviour change element to the program around active travel, and embed that across our work into places that people want to go and visit as well. One of our initiatives that you may have heard of is School Street, so that's an example of our work in neighbourhoods. Cool, I'm going to hand over to Andrea, who's going to talk more about the Southgate Masterplan Vision.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So Southgate is one of the 5 main town centre of Enfield. It's the only one with a direct connection to central London, has a really strong heritage architecture and really strong local and community partners. Our team has been engaging with the local community of Southgate for quite a few years, and we've also developed a town centre action plan, and a lot of the feedback that we got through this engagement focused on the fact that the town centre at the moment is an unpleasant pedestrian environment. There is really it's congested by traffic, roads are difficult to cross, places are not accessible, and there is lack of seating, and in general the town centre is not attractive to families. Our work in the last couple of years has therefore focused on reimagining and improving the everyday experience of the town centre to create a town centre where everyone can feel welcome and engaged. And we've delivered a series of projects that are highlighted in the map in pink, starting from Ashfield Parade Parklets, the enhancement of the Pocket Park near the bus station, rain gardens on Chayside, and there will be an art trail delivered in the next couple of months. And here are some of the images of this project. The parklets in Ashfield Parade were installed in March of this year with the ambition of introducing some green to that area, also providing some sitting space for the community that wouldn't be connected to the retail space of the cafe there. The The Chayside Rain Gardens have just been completed a couple of weeks ago, and the ambition here was to mitigate surface water runoff, but also to begin bringing some green into a really congested area of the town centre. We've also recently improved the pocket park by the station. This is kind of a TfL land, but by an agreement with them, we have installed new seating in the form of these really big oak tree logs, and also new planting to create a space that is more welcoming to local people. And there is also like the image on the right shows a mosaic. That will be one of the mosaics that will be installed on the hanging basket along Chayside as part of the portrait of Southgate Art Trail that celebrates Southgate heritage. All these interventions have been setting the ground for the development of a cohesive vision for the town centre. We think that at this stage, we really need to develop a longer-term master plan for the town centre, which can consider both place and transport together. We will be developing this in partnership, obviously with the local community, with TfL, with the businesses, and the hope is to enhance the public realm, but also the provision of cultural and community activities. And the ambition for this master plan is to be implemented incrementally over time, whenever we are able to secure grant funding. At the moment, we have set out like 5 different objectives for the master plan. The first is that the master plan needs to be community-led. The town centre is a space for everyone. We want to focus on reimagining the everyday experience of the town centre, making it welcoming and accessible. We want to celebrate Southgate heritage identity and the strong connection with the station and the transport interchange. We also want to make sure that the master plan improves the healthy street indicators, so that we can make the town centre healthier and more accessible for both residents and visitors. And also, we want to explore the delivery of a cultural place integrated to the public realm improvement around Ashfield Parade. So the council has been delivering flagship cultural places in each one of the 5 main town centres. So we want, at the moment, we have delivered 4 of them, and we want to bring 1 to Southgate as well. And cultural places are area to support high streets, to host arts, community and cultural event, and bring a long-term transformation to Enfield. On the development of the Southgate Masterplan Vision, we are working with East Architecture, an architectural practice which has a wealth of experience in town centre improvement and regeneration. And I now let Josh Mullins from East present the next few slides that have a series of challenges and opportunities we have highlighted on the town centre.
Hello, thanks for introducing me, Andrea. So yeah, my name's Josh and I work at East, and we're developing a vision for the town centre. So we've been looking up to date kind of at the town centre as it is, to kind of understand what works well, what doesn't work so well, and where we think there are maybe opportunities for improvement, or where we can build upon the success of an existing project, such as the parklets or the new and improved pocket park. And so from this, we've sort of identified 5 areas in the town centre as kind of Chayside, the station interchange, Crown Lane and Ashfield Parade, as well as the sort of alleyway sites connecting Crown Lane to Chayside. So over the next few slides, we'll kind of zoom into these areas. But it's important to understand each of those areas sort of have shared challenges and opportunities, but also sort of their own unique challenges and opportunities that we're trying to sort of address and look at. So next slide, please. So we'll start with the transport interchange. So I'm sure, as you're all aware, there's kind of amazing heritage, architectural heritage, Art Deco building at the centre of this station interchange. which is a massive opportunity and a Grade 2 listed, and a building which is of national importance. But similarly, there's also kind of challenges around that with the public realm surrounding the train station, including sort of the interaction of pedestrian and vehicles. So pedestrian safety is a concern at the multiple crossings in and around the station. And then there is also a sense of sort of street clutter around the building. And so there's a kind of opportunity to rethink how that space works surrounding that. So if we go to the next slide, please. So in terms of the opportunities, then we think that a new public realm could help to sort of foreground the Grade 2 listed buildings and sort of help to bring them into focus once again. Improving the waiting area and the public realm around the station so that we create places for people to sit and rest through the addition of kind of greenery, cycle parking, bins, all things that make the space feel like a space that you can use and not just a space to pass through. And as I said previously, improving the pedestrian crossings as a way to sort of improve pedestrian safety around this area. So we go to the next slide. So then these are some of the questions we're thinking about at the moment, like how can we improve that pedestrian experience? Is that through new paving, which sort of creates a greater sense of arrival to Southgate and addresses issues with accessibility? Is that through planters which have integrated seating, so providing sort of more greening whilst also providing places to rest? And then also using public art and wayfinding as a way to sort of celebrate the heritage aspect of the site and the kind of Art Deco influence on the building. Let's go to the next slide, please. So then we're moving on to Ashfield Parade. So Ashfield Parade is a pretty interesting site in that it has a very wide road at the moment, and it has these kind of amazing buildings flanking that road with a range of uses at the ground floor and cafes that kind of can spill out into the space and start to kind of occupy the public realm and activate it. That being said, there is also similar issues here with pedestrian safety, particularly at the road crossing as you enter onto the high street. And there is also a kind of dominance of car use, particularly with the taxi rank in the centre of the road. It can feel that this space is dominated by vehicles, but we think there's a real opportunity to sort of flip this so that the priority is for pedestrians and that we kind of activate this as a public space. So if we go to the next page. So as you can kind of see in that first image, one of the major opportunities is that there's a wide road and sidewalks, and this means that we can create new public spaces with space for seating, potentially for play, like a range of different uses. There's an opportunity to link further to the pocket park so that we kind of expand the role of that park and sort of connect it up with Ashfield Parade. And then again, introducing more greenery so that we can kind of transform this street from what is quite a harsh urban environment into something more that feels something more like a town square, which sort of has spaces for people to sit and use the space. And if we go to the next slide. So as Andrea mentioned earlier, Ashfield Parade has been identified as a cultural place for Southgate by the council, and so we're really kind of trying to understand what people who live and work in Southgate might consider a cultural place to be. So is that a public square? Is it a market? Is it a play street? We'd really love to hear your ideas on what you think this could be and how we could shape that into something that is quite a considerable space for Southgate and could unlock quite a lot of potential for the town centre. If you go to the next slide, please. So then the final site we're looking at is Chaseside. Again, this is quite a pretty successful high street in the fact that it has very few vacant units compared to the rest of the borough. There's a kind of a range of different uses along the high street, with a few social uses, such as the kind of Halo Theatre and the church, and then, yeah, more kind of cafes and food shops. Some of the challenges, again, pedestrian safety, there's sort of road crossings and issues with pavement parking by cars and moped delivery drivers that sort of can create issues for pedestrian movement. There's also a general sort of low quality streetscape that has little character and identity, and very little greenery. Although this has been addressed slightly by the new rain gardens, there's definitely room for more greenery in the future. If we go to the next slide, please. So questions are, how could we imagine Chayside as a more vibrant and attractive high street? So the first idea is to essentially kind of use the opportunity of the existing wide sidewalks and sort of make these work a lot harder by creating places to sit, rest and play, and using greenery and furniture to do that. So that might be permanent furniture or also sort of cafe furniture that activates the street in the day. There's also a range of sort of alleyways and kind of yard spaces that come off of the high street, which have road crossings that could be improved to essentially create kind of more sociable spaces that kind of encourage and sort of prioritize the pedestrian. And there's also opportunities for public art that could be used to sort of establish a character and identity for the high street and build upon the kind of what's going on already with the mosaics that Andrea mentioned earlier. So if we go to the next slide, please. I think I'll hand back to Andrea and Liz for this. Thanks.
Thank you, Josh. Hi again, everyone. So just to talk a bit about, oops, sorry, put me on the screen. Just to talk a bit about the communications and engagement that we're delivering as part of the Southgate Masterplan Vision project. So we've got a number of activities that are planned throughout this phase of engagement. Obviously, we've got tonight's webinar, and as I said, that will be it is being recorded and will be uploaded on the project page. We've got an online survey that a number of people have completed already, so thank you if you have done that. But that survey is open until the 15th of December, and it can be completed on the project page, which is linked there, or you can scan that QR code. You can share your views and speak to us and other members of the project team at a community drop-in session that we're holding at the Southgate Club. That's happening next Wednesday, the 27th of November from 4 till 7 p.m. So just come in anytime during that period and drop in to speak to us and share your views. We've also got a launch event for the Pocket Park and Chayside Rain Gardens, which were recently delivered as part of our work in Southgate. And we've got the launch event happening on Saturday, the 7th of December from 2 till 5 p.m. We're starting at the Pocket Park, and then we'll be moving towards the latter half of the event to St Andrew's Church. As part of this phase of engagement, we're also speaking to local businesses, and we've been running some workshops in some of the local primary schools with our partners, the charity Open City, and that's to hear from young people about what they want to see in the future for Southgate as well. So all of the comments that we receive they're going to inform the Southgate Masterplan Vision, and we'll be feeding back through the project page more about that in the new year. Andrea will talk a bit more about the next steps soon. But in terms of the project page, I've kind of mentioned it a number of times tonight. The link's there again for you, and we've got a screenshot that you can see on the right-hand side there. So the project page hosts a lot of information about Southgate Town Centre, but also this Masterplan Vision project. This is where we post project updates, and you can find the latest things that have happened in terms of our work in Southgate, frequently asked questions, key dates for the project that we're working on in terms of the Masterplan Vision, information on the upcoming activities that I've just mentioned, and also it's where the survey is hosted as well. So if you see in that screenshot there, that is kind of the main body of text, and then underneath is where the survey sits, and there's a few tabs that you can click on to go from project updates through to the survey as well. And then on the right hand side, it hosts things like the key dates, documents, frequently asked questions and things like that. So I encourage you to have a look at that if you haven't already. I'm going to pass back to Andrea to talk about next steps.
Yeah, just to explain a little bit the timeline and the next step for this Masterplan Vision development. So we started working with this architecture in September 2024. We are now currently working on the engagement with the local community for November and December, and we are planning to publish an engagement findings report in January next year. At the beginning of next year, in January and February, we will work with East to develop concept design for the master plan, which we will be publishing in March of next year. The concept design will outline like the Southgate longer term vision and identify a series of kind of priority intervention for the town centre. It's important to clarify that at the moment we don't have budget to deliver the intervention that are included in the master plan, but the report and the document generated through this exercise will allow us to apply to external grant funding, and we will start applying to this funding as soon as immediately after March. And as soon as we will be able to receive any grant funding, we will start again engaging with the local community on statutory consultation while the project progress. And this will happen as soon as funding for the delivery is available.
Okay, great. Thank you. So we've come to the Q&A for the night. I can see lots of people are posting in the Q&A chat at the moment and have done throughout tonight's presentation. So thank you so much. If you do have any more questions, please keep posting them. We're going to try to get through as many as we can tonight. So to start, there's a handful of questions about the types of businesses and the high street. So why aren't there more pubs like there used to be? There are vape shops, American candy shops, and people seem to be disappointed, I suppose, in that sense, and wanting the offer of shops and shopping to be revitalized. So Andrea, do you have anything to comment in terms of the offer of shops and variety of shops?
Yeah, I mean, as a council, we have limited power on kind of selecting or encouraging specific shop to settle in the town centre. But one of the ambition of the work that we are developing now is to improve the town centre so that will become more attractive to a broad range of businesses, so that we, like town centre, Southgate Town Centre, can attract a variety of independent businesses, as many people that we have engaged in the past would like to see.
Yeah, thank you. There's a related question particularly about the vape shops, but also expanding on that, saying that there's lots of cafes full of almost only men smoking outside, which is quite unwelcoming, and we want more. There's multiple parts of that question. So in terms of the type of people that are hanging around, Andrea, is there anything you can comment on in that regard?
When we delivered the parklet in Ashfield Parade, we have engaged with all the businesses in the area, and we are aware of the issue there with Ashfield Parade, but it's site being a male dominated space, because most of the cafe of the businesses attract that type of customer, and obviously there isn't much we can do on that. We spoke with the businesses, and some of them are really keen to potentially broaden and expand the range of customer that access and use their shops and units. And I think what, again, connecting to what I was saying before, it's improving the town center, creating spaces, the public realm that is more welcoming and accessible for family, young people, that can bring a different set of potential customer to the town center that hopefully will allow some more mixing and variety of people in the area.
Yeah. I suppose related to that, a number of people have also mentioned crime in the area, particularly drug use and other antisocial behaviour. So I know, Andrea, you're saying it's about making the town centre more attractive for the, all types of people to spend time in, and that creates safety and passive surveillance and more people being around to feel comfortable around. But do you have anything else to add in terms of crime and an increased police presence?
Yeah, I mean, we are in constant contact with the local Met Police as well as the antisocial behavior unit in the council. So every time we report any issue we're aware of, we're kind of making sure that they're aware of the situation at the town center, and this is what we can do with our capacity at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So there's also a couple of questions around enforcement issues. So one is, what can be done for illicit parking to be enforced? And a feeling that there's little enforcement of parking issues in the area. Andrea, back to you. I'm just going to keep going to you.
Yeah, no, fine. I think we've been also we've reported this to colleagues in the parking enforcement team. I've seen a few of them, especially around Ashfield Parade, quite often on the taxi rank where a lot of cars are parking, and I know that they try to be there quite constantly because that's obviously an issue. There are also issues with illegal parking on the sidewalk of Chase side, which is obviously an issue for pedestrian being like space for pedestrian being limited by illegal parking. So we will keep on reporting and these two colleagues, and so that the presence of the traffic enforcement team can be more regular in the town centre.
Right. A couple of the other enforcement questions are around, I suppose they're all around people's behaviour at the end of the day. So one is about rubbish scattered across the pavement, and another is about driving standards and poor drivers maybe acting carelessly in the area. So I suppose, other than what you've said, is there anything that we can do in terms of designing for those issues?
I mean, on one side, something that I wanted to add on my previous, last answer, is that some of the design that we've been delivering is also, like, for example, the rain gardens along Chase side is a way to prevent illegal parking on the sidewalk. Basically, creating green spaces where cars are not able to access. So creating some positive improvement to the sidewalk, but also preventing cars from driving over them. In terms of other potential related improvements, we are looking together with East, potentially increasing pedestrian crossing, introducing raised table and level crossing, and these are all measures that potentially reduce the speed of cars driving to the town center and create space that is more welcoming for pedestrians.
Right. I think a related question has come in around Southgate roundabout and improving traffic there. Do you have any comments around how traffic could be improved at that location?
So we're aware of that the circus is really congested. Our team has installed 2 monitoring stations on the circus to try to understand and start surveying the different direction that traffic takes. So this station have been on site since July, and we're starting to assessing and looking at the data. And as part of this exercise we are working on with East. We also have a traffic consultant as part of the team, and we're trying to work with them and to understand if there are potential modification or like adjustment that can be delivered around the circus to reduce the congestion of that specific area of the town centre.
Okay, great, thank you. Another couple of traffic related questions. So there's one about parking on the high street and if that would include disabled parking.
I mean, it will definitely, I mean, there will definitely be a provision of disabled parking in the town centre. So that is a statutory requirement. So that will definitely be provided.
Yeah, I suppose once we move to a stage where we are looking at actual designs and going into the detail around it, it will be engaging people on perhaps location of where they'll be as well. And in terms of congestion around Southgate Station, especially with buses, Andrea, do you have any comments about that location?
We met a couple of times already with TfL. We had a site visit with them around Southgate, but also with specific focus around the transport interchange. The transport interchange is apparently one of the best within TfL network. They are aware of the fact that Station Parade with like 6 different stops for buses is quite complex to cross for pedestrian, and it gives an impression of congestion. So we're discussing with them how we can improve some potentially desired lines to facilitate crossing. Obviously, the bus stops will need to remain, and Station Parade will need to remain a space for buses, but we will be looking as part of this master plan at ways in which we can make it more accessible and safer for pedestrians.
Thank you. Okay, so there's a question that's come in about Southgate Library being part of the scope of this project in terms of being labelled on the map, I think. So if it is part of the scope, then if the outcome of this would any outcome of this project impact on the potential closure of the library?
I mean, not directly. There is an engagement ongoing on like libraries closure, potential library closures, led by the council. So at the moment, the design, the concept design for this master plan vision will not impact that decision. It's more that whatever the output of that piece of engagement work that the council is delivering will inform and will be taken into consideration within our work on the master plan vision.
Okay, thank you. I'm just looking through what's come in via the Q&A. Again, if you've got any more questions, please post them. I can see a lot of comments. So as I mentioned at the start, we'll definitely be taking note of those, but please also do share them through the survey or by coming to one of the events that we've spoken about tonight. So just going through that, there's a question around having separate motorbike parking for motorcycle users who are parking on footways and creating access issues, Andrea. So is that something on your radar, and can that be looked at as part of this?
Yeah, the area in front of McDonald on Chase side is definitely one of the area we will be focusing on our kind of design development for Chase side. We're aware of the issue with a lot of delivery driver parking on the sidewalk during peak hours, and it's something that obviously we want to prevent, finding ways to accommodate their needs as driver, but making sure they don't impact on the pedestrian experience.
Cool. There's a question around greenery in the town centre, and that at the moment it's a concrete jungle. So Andrea, what opportunities are there as part of this master plan vision to enhance greenery and green and open space across Southgate?
Yeah, I mean, the enhancement of the introduction of greenery has been one of our objective since we started delivering this intervention. Including like the Parklets National Parade, the enhancement of the Pocket Park, the Rain Garden on Chase Side. There is potential to do more, mainly because sidewalks both in Nashville Parade and on Chase Side are really wide. So there is a potential as part of the Vision Master Plan to integrate more green without impacting on parking and road section, making use of the width of the sidewalks. So that is definitely something we will be looking at.
Cool. And in terms of maintenance of the new pocket park, there's a question around maintaining it and cutting the grass there. So how is that being managed at the moment?
So for the new intervention, the contractor that we appointed for the delivery of the intervention is responsible for maintaining them for the first 12 months. And after that, this will be under the responsibility of the parks team. We have an agreement with the parks team. We are kind of contributing to the future maintenance to make sure that all the intervention will be well looked after in the long term. So if there is any issue with any I don't know, intervention not being properly looked after, if you could report, and then we can make sure that this is reported to the contractor.
Okay, great, thank you. There's a question about the impact of nearby low traffic neighbourhoods. I think that might be referring to the Fox Lane quieter neighbourhood, and if there has been an impact on Southgate. So, Andrea, I don't know if you want to comment on that, or perhaps I can as well.
Yeah, Liz,
yeah, I can comment on that. So, obviously the Fox Lane quieter neighbourhood was made permanent. Off the top of my head, I think it was at the start of 2022 from memory, and has since been in place and was in place as an experimental traffic order ahead of that being made permanent. So that was in place, yeah, a good number of years now. In terms of the impact on Southgate, I suppose there may have been some impact, as we know that, you know, they're designed to reduce motor traffic going through residential areas, and that does have an impact sometimes on the surrounding roads. But we believe that that is an acceptable level of impact because the surrounding roads are designed to cater to higher numbers of motor vehicles and higher traffic numbers. So it's hard to say if that particular project has had a direct impact on Southgate because it's not the only factor that impacts traffic levels. Obviously, we've come out of a pandemic and people use their cars a lot more, as well as for a number of other personal and social issues. So it is hard to say. In terms of us understanding traffic in Southgate, though, should we progress to designing some kind of improvements to Southgate, for example, if that's around Southgate Circus and the bus interchange, then we would be taking, we would be undertaking traffic monitoring and taking traffic counts and creating a monitoring and evaluation plan for that. So that would be down the track. At the moment, we're at the kind of vision stage, as we've spoken about tonight, but should anything progress, we'd be trying to understand what the level of traffic is, how traffic is moving from A to B, what that A to B is, and how we can make it safer and more accessible and easier for people to get around across all modes of transport. Okay, I'm just looking through to see if there's anything else for us to answer tonight. Okay, what is the project team expecting from the community engagement in terms of helping to secure the grant application for the project? Andrea?
I mean, community engagement is definitely a condition to obtain external grants to proceed with the delivery of the master plan. So on one side, it's crucial to engage with the local people to make sure that what we are developing as a vision is supported by the local community. But yes, it's also important to prove that this engagement has been thorough with a variety of local stakeholders to be able to obtain external grants. For this reason, we are kind of set up. We basically set out this a series of different engagement activities, starting from the webinar, the drop-in session. We will be visiting businesses. We are running workshop with 3 local primary school, which are St Andrews, Walker, and Westgrove, to involve year 6 children in the process and to discuss with them what they would like to see in the future of Southgate. So we're trying to make sure that the community engagement is as thorough as possible.
Great, thank you. All right, we're coming to our last couple of questions, I think. So there's a couple of questions, Andrea, about the underground stations, both Oakwood and Southgate. So would it help if Oakwood was made a Zone 4 station to relieve congestion at Southgate? And one about connecting the different train and tube lines. So perhaps you can talk a bit about our role in that, and that it's run by Transport for London.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the decision on where each station kind of fits is for TfL, but I mean, looking at this specific master plan exercise, TfL are one of the main stakeholders for the town centre. They own the underground station building, they own the bus station, all the retail units, and the area in between. And they're really keen to see improvement in the surrounding area. And they might also have some capacity to improve the station itself, the building, and celebrate one of the best building in their network. So we're really trying to work and to establish a partnership with them so that the transport interchange can be included in future improvement in the town centre.
Great. Okay, well, I think that's taken us to the end of tonight's webinar. As I've said, I've seen a number of comments come in tonight, and we will take note of those. But again, please visit the project page, undertake the survey, visit us at one of the drop-in or the launch event, and find out more information online on the Let's Talk Enfield website project page as well. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight and for submitting your questions, and have a great evening.